This is Stock Talk on June 28th. It's 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining me in the live stream as always, and thank you guys for spending your quality time with me in these videos. To be honest, it is you guys who are the bread and butter of the stream. I'm here, I do some technical analysis, sure, but it is you guys who make the stream and the videos worth it for me, and thank you so much. So let's keep it up, and if you do like these videos, just hit the like button or subscribe to this channel, of course, so that really helps me a ton. So let's get started right away on SPY, tracking the S&P 500 on the 180-day chart, and today's movement is rather interesting, but is rather predictable, right? We talked about the support at 270.89. There was a potential to pull even lower to 266, 267 area, which would be the next support. But today, what we did is, you can see at the 4-hour candles how we kind of formed a reversal pattern here on the 4-hour candle. So at 1 p.m. you could have entered, and then you could have known that you would have exited near the resistance or the support at 271. So what was interesting is in past videos, we talked about this support. Where did the market like to gravitate to? The markets like to gravitate to support and resistance lines. We gravitated back to the previous support line, hence exactly where we closed. Now, I hope this wasn't too unusual for you guys. Looking at the 5-day, 5-minute, look at this, right? These lines have not changed, and these lines mean something because that's where the markets gravitate towards. So what are we looking for in the more near term, in the next few days? So tomorrow is Friday. Fridays are generally lighter trading days, and we're at the support. So I can see a couple of scenarios playing out, to be honest, because today's information that was given to us by the market didn't tell us that much. All we did was we came back to the light blue line. You guys see the light blue line, or the 20 EMA line. We just got back to it and we closed the support. Really not that much information can be taken out of today's movement. Tomorrow, it's a light volume trading day. It could be, very well be. We can see a sideways movement, right, to the right, right? That's one option. We can see a slightly upwards movement to the light blue line, or the blue line, the 50 SMA line. You can see that it's happened in the past, or go a little bit over. Or it could come back down and retest the support and come back a little bit higher. All those possibilities are open. It could get rejected and go back down. So this is one time where we are at this point. We don't see any signals or major signals of a trend change to the upside yet. So tomorrow seems like to me a rather flat day, unless we see some massive news catalyst or intraday that will cause intraday movement towards the upside or downside, in which I will go live and talk more about that tomorrow. So that is SPY. Let's take a look at TVIX or volatility. See, so volatility, right, we talked about how it was edging higher today, but because SPY managed to push back to the previous support area, we see volatility dipping. But note that we kind of confirmed the 20 EMA here, the light blue line. We're still on an uptrend for volatility despite today's drop. So, the question is, are you guys going to go into volatility? And that is a risk question that you have to ask yourself. Given that we're at the 20 EMA line, we're very close to it, you have to ask yourself, tomorrow's Friday, it's a lighter volume trading day, do you want to go into volatility? That's something you want to ask yourself, whether that risk is negligible for you or good enough for you to enter a position. But you have to pick a stop loss in volatility if you are wrong. So let's take a look at /CL tracking crude oil futures. We talked about crude oil futures every single day. The potential for it to push higher past its previous resistance area, right? We're looking at this chart kind of retrospectively, right? We're looking into the past, but we also say, based off of past movement, what do we think could happen in the future? This provides a very good avenue for us, based off of technical analysis or fundamental analysis, a good avenue of trading, where to enter and where to exit, right? And because it broke above the resistance line, you found yourself a good entry point again. Here's crude oil breaking over the resistance line, and now we're at 73.28. Sure, it came down a little. Where is the next major resistance? We talked about the resistance on the 3-year chart. Actually, I'm going to take you guys back to the 10-year chart. So let me add this time frame in here really quick just to show you what's been happening on here. So I'm going to show you the 10-year chart. Aha. This is where I got the number from. The big number to break is $76 and change. At that area, I'm looking for a rejection of crude oil and a signal of a downtrend. You can imagine how bullish crude oil has been in the last few years. See that? Last few years, and that the potential for a drop is there. And that drop will be massive. It'll be in a big scale because of this massive climb. So until then, we have to be pro UWT and Gush, those tickers that follow crude oil. Because are we at $76 yet? No, we have around $3 more to run. So looking for that in crude oil /NG. You guys have been talking about this trend. Some of you guys have been trading this trend for a while, right? You guys are like, well, Kevin, look at this consolidation pattern. I've been trading on the bottom, getting into UGAZ, which follows natural gas, selling at the top. What a perfect pattern to trade. This is something that is predictable. It's a horizontal pattern. It is playing to the upside in the past, and this is something that is rather safe. Get in down here, get out up here. One thing to note is we're actually forming this higher low pattern again, similar to here, and this is where we temporarily, broke out. We could have another breakout in the future. So where could we get in? We can get in here, or we can get in here. What do I mean by getting in? That's the ticker UGAZ, which follows natural gas. So here we are, right? It looks pretty much the same, but this potential for profit, if you guys got in here, look at that. Look at that, guys. That's 6 to 7% profit. Pretty good chunk. If you played this 2 or 3 times, you would have gotten 12 to 14% at that point. And look how many times you could have played this. Let's say you didn't get in on the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. You could have played this 5 times, right? But of course, no one's perfect. No one's going to get it all 5 times. If you did, you're magical. You're great. But this is something that's predictable and a pattern we want to get into. Tracking /GC, just downtrending. Now, this is gold, right? Gold just falling to the next support around 1249. Where are we? 1249. We close right at the support. So let's zoom out, find out the next support. Ooh, I don't like this. Okay, so gold dropping. Whoa. So let's remove that drawing right here. Okay, so what the problem for gold is, there's a support here you guys can see at 1209. That could be the next support, and that support is a long ways off. You guys can see that if we start dipping below this support and we actively close, there's a long way for gold to drop. So given this trend, we cannot go into the ticker JNUG or JNUG, right? It's just dropping completely and not something we want to actively participate in. Let's take a look at your comments. The Donald, no AMD? Well, we did tackle AMD. Remember, I talked about it, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday, but let's just review AMD. We talked about AMD, I think, in every video, right? So just be sure to look out for that. I said AMD, we want to look for a what? A bounce off the 20 EMA line on the 3-year chart. I'm looking for it to get to the 20 EMA line. Where's the 20 EMA line right here? It's right here. It's still between $13 to $14. I'm looking for entry from $13 to $14. Not right now, even though it went up 2.27% today. So I would still wait on this one. We've had this massive uptrend. It's overextended. Sure, it can go higher, but I don't want to be guessing at that point because it would be hard to say where my stop loss would be. So I'm waiting for it to dip more in the future. K9, could you go over the waste management ticker WM? Okay, so I'll tackle one of them. for long-term investor, WM. And guys, a lot of the tickers that you tackle, it might be covered in the live stream video. So be sure to take a look at that live stream recording to see if your ticker was covered there. Because I do go back to the comments sometime, and because I have so many comments and tickers that are being submitted, yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for that. And then WM, we're going to take a look at right now, Waste Management, right? This is the 3-year chart. What can I say about this one, right? Bull streak in the last 3 years, extremely bullish, and all of a sudden we're coming down. There's so much retracement ability for this one. I would see this one dropping more and more and more. This is very, you know, overextended at this position, and I want this to drop, you know, at the very least we want it to drop quite a bit. Like what does that even mean, right? I want it to drop at the very least to $76, $73 range, at least $7 more. Until then, I'm not going to be actively investing in this one, as this is this needs to correct itself for a bit. Okay, so you're right. What goes up must come down, right, you guys? And when it comes down, it doesn't have to come all the way down back to the support, but we do need to come, rest, breathe like a normal stock, and then go back up, right? This happens with every stock. Every stock needs to breathe at some point, even the ones that are high achieving in the past. Example of it, IQ, right? Here we are. You know, we talked about IQ, 180 days, continuous upstreak. What is this, right? This is pretty much a long percentage points. Wasn't it over 100%, right? Run at this point. It's got to come down and rest before it can go back up, right? Doesn't mean it has to get all the way back down here, but it has to rest. So give it some time. Hey, I think that is Russian, your name, but I'm not sure. So if it's not Russian, just let me know. But Kevin, could you please check again, ZAGG? Yeah, absolutely. And if you want me to call you by a different name, I'd be happy to do so as well. Oh, ZAGG. Look, I have this resistance line right here. Remember, I drew in this resistance line when the last time we covered ZAGG. Here's the resistance. Why was this the resistance? Breakdown area. So this was a resistance here. Yeah, we broke up. But look, this massive rejection candle pretty much today or yesterday, right? So let's take a look at around a 3-year chart. So yeah, this is an uptrend, but given this massive spike up, I want to see a reconfirmation of the 20 EMA. I need it to come down to this area, confirm that we can hold this support, and then potentially go back in and ride the way up another 10%. But for now, because we're so high up, I don't want to actively go to it. At the very least, if it consolidates sideways, perfectly fine with me. I just need the 20 EMA line to start catching up with our price, and that'll be a more comfortable area to invest in. Monica, hey, welcome back. Camera's back. Yes, ma'am. I am watching CCE with the potential resistance at 42. Thank you again for all of your analysis. Thank you for submitting your ticker. So CCE. Oh, wow. Okay, that's not the right one, right? CCE? Okay, so Coca-Cola European Partners. What happened here? Oh, man. Okay. So with this one, this is a less predictable pattern. You can imagine that these lines, which are kind of coinciding with each other, the 150 and the 200 simple moving averages, are coinciding with each other, and we can find resistance up here. Note that we're kind of close to that area. It doesn't have to get all the way up. That's only a 3% gain for a pretty big amount of risk, in my opinion, because this one can drop. So I think there are better positions to enter to because of this less predictable movement. I would not get into this one at this point right now. It's just the potential for profit is not there, plus less predictability. LRCX, Ben, can you please take a look at it if I can? So sure, LRCX. Okay, so LRCX. We talked about that we were nearing a bottom, actually, on the 1-year chart. We said that it was making some sort of double bottom, but we managed to come down again. So looking at this, we're nearing the bottom, and do we have a sign or signal change right now? right now we actually don't have a signal change. It looks like we made another low here, right here, even though we kind of pulled up, but we're still on the downtrend. And because we're still on the downtrend, I don't see any reversal signals right now, but we may encounter one soon. So you can imagine, as this is dipping, you should actively monitor this on a daily basis. But until then, I see the double dip here, but you can see that that wasn't the confirmation. So in that case, you know, we're kind of near the bottom. So if you wanted to average down, I wouldn't blame you. So this is just something to watch out for when it starts reversing back up. Dawei, hey, can you look at BlackBerry? So this is the last one I will look at just to kind of make this video short. Here is BlackBerry on the 1-year chart. Let's look at 3-year chart. All right, so this is not a good pattern. Certainly not a good pattern. We cannot play this, giving this massive decline, this lower low plus lower high getting wedged in by this descending pattern is not something I want to actively participate in. And this is just a guess, right? We're guessing that this is the bottom, and we do not want to guess that's the bottom because it's still actively trending lower. So given the trajectory, this might be the bottom. Do we have any consolidation? No, absolutely not. And therefore, this could continue dropping to $9 potentially. But just right now, yes, we're dropping a lot, and there's potential for it to drop even more. So yeah, that's it for this stock talk, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is all for you guys. And you know, I like doing these stock talk videos because kind of gives everyone a good sense of where the general market is moving. There's a lot of news out there. There's a lot of talk about, you know, technical analysis and you know, outside of what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys do find this stuff helpful. If you guys watch other people as well, hopefully you guys can see similar patterns. And this is what really matters, right? Markets, there's different opinions on different stocks, different patterns, different ETFs, and that's what makes really technical analysis great. But when you can see a lot of people who kind of do technical analysis and they analyze it similarly, they have similar resistance lines, similar support lines, and that's when you can see, okay, you know, you see a pattern, and this is how you could potentially trade, could potentially find your exit and entry point. So hopefully all this helps for you guys. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in Sunday's Stock Talk video, right? Saturday or Sunday, I'll make another video, and be on the lookout for that. But until then, I appreciate everyone who joined and watched the live stream and the Stock Talk video. See you guys on Sunday, and happy trading on Friday.